suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello, welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland. We are, allegedly, an Arsenal podcast. With me this fine Monday afternoon, Monday night, Monday evening is Deac, because days of the week have no meaning for me. How are you doing, Deac?
Yeah, I'm good. Days of the week haven't meant anything to me since I was 21 and I'm 36. Haven't worked a 9 to 5. I've worked all weekend and now I've had a day off. I say I've had a day off. I've had an hour of rest, but I've been doing other things. I'm well though, Danny. How are you? How's Tricks?
Very good. I think I'm in keto because I'm just living on meat like a caveman would.
I love it.
And Ocado, thank you very much, Ocado. Very, very nice quality food and meat. So there you go. They last a bit longer and they're better quality.
Yes. I always get all my meat from the local butchers because it's different. If it's local butchers in London, especially in poorer parts of London, I wouldn't recommend it. But butchers up here, it's
all scrag end.
It's properly good. It's properly good meat up here. Properly
Big
good.
Bob, his missus, owns the pie shop in Government in Brampton. And so I should get all my meat from them if I could be bothered, which I should do. Anyway, Let's stop talking about each other's meat because I'm giving people the wrong idea and say hello to any of the ne'er-do-wells in the chat. We have Clock Orange. Hello, lads. I'll have to see small writing on the right, big writing down there. Hello, lads. What do we have on the agenda today? Well, we're going to talk about Declan Rice. Maybe we've got some stats and details and lineups and formations of possible stuff because Arteta's team is slowly coming together and Deac's gone and got his usual Football Manager stuff, which he's quite happy about. Paul Nell, not Neil, says oi oi. Across the pond sports talk. What's up? In a bid for Balogun, Gunnar, let's wait it out. It will go higher. You make too many full stops.
It's like 34 million offered. So 40 million euros, 34 million off the bat, straight off the bat. They get money for Onana from United. So hopefully they can get a good 40, 50 plus million for Balogun. That'd be amazing.
I wonder if Ajax got anything from that deal because they let him go to Inter when his contract expired. I doubt it, did they? That's a shame.
Yeah.
Ajax made him, Inter get him on a free, and a year later flog him for 45, 50 million. Ridiculous. Phil Macker says, running late, catch it late, fellas. Mbappe signed it. Shut up about Mbappe, boy. Sports across the pond says, Arsenal v All-Stars Wednesday night and Messi, wow, massive intro last night. Will Messi play for the All-Stars, do you think?
Great shout. Didn't think about that. It's a 1:30 kickoff on Wednesday night, so Thursday early morning.
We'll be watching
BST. It. I will be watching it. Half asleep, but I will be watching it. I'll take like a late nap and try, but I'll definitely be watching it. I can't wait. I watched the Nuremberg game, even though it was a 1-1 draw. But I'm already soaking up every ounce of content that Arsenal are giving me at the moment.
Give your microphone a little tap. No, your microphone's not connected.
Can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you. It's just not coming from your microphone.
It's coming. Oh.
You sound like you're in the bog.
Hold on. I know why.
While you do that, I'm going to go and do a little tweet saying that we are live.
I usually forget. Why. It's because I reset it. Hold on.
I'll explain. Redid your cookies, didn't you? There we go. He's back in the room, people.
Apologies, everybody. That was terrific. I reset all my cookies, and you know how annoying that is. It resets everything and logins, settings alike. So it was going through my webcam. So that was good. Did you hear any of that? Was it?
Oh no, I heard it all. Yeah. Okay. Fine. We were talking for 10 minutes before the show.
I thought so. I was like, I was like, oh my god, my mic's broken. But no, we're all good.
Boy 10 says doesn't even seem real that Messi is going to be playing in the MLS. I think he's got some kind of deal where he's going to be making a lot of money.
He's gonna have an option to get a franchise afterwards, I believe.
Beckham-ing it.
Yes.
Jimmy says evening. BX Gunner says it's cheaper to buy a season ticket than it is to get a single ticket to the Messi game. Is that the first game playing for the Miami Dolphins, or is it the ticket for the ticket for the game. So that will mean,
Miami Dolphins.
Well, I don't know what team he plays for, do I? Is it the
he plays for Inter? He plays for Inter Miami.
That's the one. I knew
Beckham's team, but it's Miami Dolphins is the Ace Ventura team. They're an NFL team, isn't it?
I know, that's my boys, the Miami Dolphins. Him and Dan
Clearly.
Marino. So what? Because BX lives in the US of A, he's saying that normally a season ticket would cost maybe $400 or $500, and the tickets for that one game are going for more than $400 or $500. Holy moly! Messi has arrived.
Messi effect.
Mr. Selby is there. Boy 10 says, evening, you sexy buggers. Si's here. Everybody type hashtag Si out, cheeky monkey. We drew our first pre-season after spending close to fucking Si is winding you up, people. Don't really pick on him. BX says, is that Kofi black shirt?
Coffee black. No, it's not coffee black. It's Jackie Moon. It's Jackie Moon. Somebody recognize the Flint Tropics.
What is it? It's a basketball film.
It's a basketball film called Semi-Pro.
Yes, I watched that.
And he's got the song Love Me Sexy in it. Everyone
I love him. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
Stefan says, nearly all the legends in the chat today. Great to see. Data is there. Hello, boys. Data's a bit of a cheeky monkey. You might want to go and follow on Twitter if you want to be titillated. But don't fuck her off because she'll murder you. Stan says, morning all. Paul now, aren't you going? You aren't wrong. Oh, he's talking about the price of the tickets, saying hello to each other. Demsek is there. Hello, Demsek. Across the pond, Dolphins is Miami. Yeah, I have been a Miami Dolphins fan since Ace Ventura came out. So that's probably 1985, 84. And I've watched every single Super Bowl since then. They've not been in a single one because they're shit.
Laces were out.
I in New York like 100k. That doesn't make any sense. You're gonna have to put more effort into typing on your phone. Hope everyone is behaving. They certainly are. Nick is here with the band stick of doom, which he's never going to use unless it's picking on Nicky Wilson, him picking on himself because that's what he does. Scalper's delight with Messi landing in the MLS. Good. Jackie Moon semi-pro. Good. Yep. Where are we? There's a hilarious movie. Nick hasn't banned. Has he banned himself yet? They remade White Men Can't Jump. It's not better than it. Of course, it's not fucking better.
Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. Christ.
Yeah. Data says, I'm a non-violent person. You do your damage with words, my dear. Oh. Right, Deac, let's have a look at some of the buttons and things that I've got to impress people with.
You've got lots of information to show everyone.
First of all,
yeah, go on.
What's your initial reactions about us spending 105 million of the King's finest pounds on West Ham's probably their best player in the last decade?
So I'll make a few notes on it. One is obviously I'm extremely excited. I mentioned this last time, but Declan Rice is the first recommended player when you do a save on Art and Football Manager. So we're not going to get that first recommended anymore. Fantastic stuff. 2, we have got ourselves a generational signing. This guy is the one that you've been waiting for decades. If you said to me 2 years ago that we'll be in the Champions League and signing Declan Rice ahead of Manchester City and Bayern Munich, you'd think, nah, it's not happening in a million years, but that's where we are. But 3, I will say, I have never seen West Ham so salty. The flowing salt of tears that I was riding on Saturday.
Even Salt Bay came in and went, "Oh, that's a bit salty."
This is too much salt. It was the fact that West Ham didn't connect Arsenal to the fact that was the team that he's going to. There was no reference to it at all. Ajax did a beautiful video for Jurrien Timber. That was a lot of respect. A really good video, announcement video about him leaving. But yeah, West Ham fans on Twitter losing their shit. Their own Reddit was losing their shit. The salt was palpable.
I've got a new name there, Rick Downing.
Rick. Yes,
whenever I think of the name Rick, I think of 2 things. I think Rick Dangerous on the Commodore 16. Okay. Might be in the Amiga. And I think Rick Mail, spelled differently.
Oh, well, there.
R.I.P. What a man he was. Yeah, I agree with that. They don't like it up 'em, as someone once said.
I think that says a lot about how big of a signing he is. Because if they don't spend correctly, that's relegation territory. They teetered this year, and they've lost their best player, their talisman, their captain, their icon. They've lost him. It's going to be a tricky season for West Ham.
Mr. Womble says, I say Mr. Could be Mrs. Might be an alien. You might be a time traveller. You might be John Titor. Look that up if you like time travel. John Titor. Lovely stuff. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Paul Nell agreed with data. Boy 10. Dead Sea got less salt than West Ham.
Agreed. Nailed it. Great analogy.
Paul Nell, that's Sunday. There is a double header in the Phillies for $40. BX says, we signed a big name player with serious competition. I believe this deal's been in place for a month, so Arsenal had it in the bag. Demsek says, Declan's first day video was class. Deac's going to talk about that in a little bit later. And Data says, I already missed Granite. Really hoping Declan fills his void. Now, what should we do? Oh, Hambo Gumble's there. Sap puddings. I like custard. You put custard on anything and I'll eat it. Even if it's still wiggling. What should we do now? Should we go through the possible formations or talk some more about Declan and his stats?
Let's show off some pictures of the man himself and just show his first day at London Coney and at the Emirates, because they did both. They always show off the training ground. Edu kind of walks around and explains everything. And every time you kind of relive it, you're like, oh my God, this is incredible. But he also goes to the Emirates here, which I've got massive respect for, that he turns up in a suit. I think that says a lot about his class. The way that he comes across in the videos, the interviews, he's very well articulated. He's great with his words. He's obviously done a lot of media training where it comes natural to him. No wonder he's a leader. And it wouldn't shock me in a few years' time that he's in contention for the band if something happens to Odegaard. That's for sure. So massively impressed with him in the early doors of his Arsenal, his new home, as he says it. Arteta is the happiest man on the planet, as is Edu and as is the rest of the Arsenal fan base. So I'm in.
Beak. He's got a beak on him, hasn't
he? He's got a beak, but it makes him aerodynamic. That's what makes him quick. Breaks the wind.
I've got a big nose.
But these pictures are class, absolutely class.
Shit quality, but they're.
Oh yeah, but they're good quality. If you get them on Twitter and stuff, these pictures are everywhere. You just type in Declan Rice, there's thousands of videos. Adidas did a video. They did a video. Speaking of, let me quickly mention that. Then, I still think Aubameyang's video is more hype than Declan Rice's video. It's a cool, quirky little video. But I don't know. For the biggest signing in Arsenal's history, the most expensive one anyway, I still think the Aubameyang's incredible. We'll forget about the Henrik Mkhitaryan thing where he's like, want to come out here, bro? Whatever he said. And everyone was like, for weeks, going, oh my God, is Alba? I think he said Alba. And the video, the hype behind it for weeks. And then the music and everything that I still think that's probably the best one. And then possibly Odegaard afterwards that. But that's what I think on the video.
Yes. I'm just reading some of your comments there. Everyone seems to agree, which is good. Let's have a little look at some of his stats. This is, I stole everything from other websites. This is his 7 seasons at West Ham. His first season, only played 1 game for the first team. Next season, 26 games, no goals, no assists. Next season, 34 games, 2 goals, no assists. Next season, which was 19-20, played every single game, 1 goal, 3 assists. Next season, 32 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. And then 2021-22, he scored 36 games, 1 goal, 4 assists. And finally, 2022-23, last season, only missed 1 game, 4 goals and 1 assist. So I was going to compare him. If we have a look here, Deac, what do you think about that? This is going to be playing in the same position as Partey. That's his replacement. This is for people at home, on the bus, on the toilet, and driving your car. This is the injuries Thomas Partey has had while at Arsenal. Muscle injury, 24 days. Hip injury, 39 days. Hamstring injury, 18 days. Ankle injury, 32 days. A knock, 112 days. I mean, that's one hell of a knock. Thigh problems, 21 days. A knock, 8 days. Now, you compare that for someone playing in the same position for West Ham, Declan Rice, ill, 13 days. That is his entire career of being ill now, being injured. Now, we know there's 6 years difference between the two of them. I think Partey is 29 or 30, isn't he?
He's turning 30 anytime soon.
Yeah, he's 30. He was, in June. He was 30 in June. So,
okay, all right, cool.
Now. So there's 6 years between them, but that is going to make such a difference to our season, isn't it? Having a player who is going to play almost every single game in all competitions for the entire season without getting injured.
I agree. It's not, as much as I've enjoyed Thomas Partey, he's obviously a very talented player, but there is inconsistencies in his game. And the fact that he's had this plethora of injuries that have just come out of nowhere just by sheer bad luck has really put his position in jeopardy. And that's the reason why Declan Rice has come in, because we need assurances in that particular position. We rely on it because we're so attacking. And now we've got one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League who's got the most amazing stats when it comes to ball recovery and interceptions. The guy he just reads the game so well. And he does a lot of his tackling as well, standing up. He doesn't go to the ground much. He's very good at getting his body into the correct position and dispossessing the player, and carrying the ball as well is another one. He's one of the facets of his bow. Carrying ability is incredible too. So I'm gutted for Partey, but I wouldn't be upset if he left.
I want him to go. And there's other stuff going on which we won't talk about, which is
sure.
Unbelievable. But then you can't have your premium A-star, highest earner, most amount of everything, and then only playing a certain number of games a season, not playing enough games a season. If we just look at Partey's time with Arsenal, last season he missed out 5 games. Season before that he missed 14 games. And the season before that he also missed 14, but he didn't sign until I think it was October. 99 games, 5 goals. Out of those 99 games, how many times do you reckon we got the 10 out of 10 Partey?
No, I don't have a clue.
I'd say we got the best out of him for maybe 20 games last season, maybe 10 the season before that. If that's not it. That's not good.
I think it's like, isn't it like 30% or 35% of his games, or it was like 35 to 40% of his games he's played for Arsenal, but so he's only been available for that much. Isn't it something like that? I can't remember. It's poor. It's really poor.
Demsek says we could have Declan as first choice and Partey as his backup. Partey might say fit. Absolutely not.
That's an expensive backup, guys. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. And there's a comment here about as well how Atleti used him in that particular way. But guys, he's on 200 grand plus, Thomas Partey, isn't it? I think it's like 200 grand plus or something like that. He's on a lot of money, guys. As a backup, I think it would be more astute if we got some of that wages off, sold him to maybe Saudi Arabia, because Chelsea seems to be doing it with everyone. It's not surprising that Ted Bowley had a holiday there a few months ago, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, so, but yeah, I would invite offers for Thomas Partey and then bring in somebody to understudy Declan, because the guy plays day in, day out, and he will play every single game. Are you trying to tell me he's not going to want to play all the games in the Champions League, including the group games? The guys are going to want to fucking milk that shit, and I love it. Give me it. It
is. Paul Nell, not Neil, says Partey was class for us 80% of last season. Last season was his best season. I would say probably from September, late September, early October, all the way through until about March. He was fantastic. And then he shit his pants and it all fell apart. Right, let's bring up some more stats and details. So last season, only got the Champions League, the Europa League run here. Europa Conference League, get that right. I didn't realise West Ham won the competition without losing a single game. And he only missed 2 games. He missed one because he wasn't in the squad in the last group game, understandably, because they qualified. And he missed the last 16 second leg against Larnaca. Yeah, pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, I agree. Regardless of what people have to say about the Europa League conference or Europa Conference League, it's still if you win it, it gives you Europa League. So that is nothing to snuff at. It gives lower teams a real great opportunity to get themselves into European football and European contention, because you win the Europa League, you're in the Champions League. So if you're not doing well domestically, you can go and do it in Europe. But anyway, stats look fantastic. West Ham went on a great run. I was kind of happy. I'm not. Don't give a shit now, but I was happy with all of it. It looked great, and Declan looked happy, and we knew that we were getting him, and we've gotten him at such a great moment of his career. This is, he kind of wanted to leave West Ham in the way that he did by lifting a European trophy, their first one in like ever. Is it their first ever one? Their first ever Europa? I don't know, but it's been iconic for them. So I'm happy that we got him when we did. Very happy. It's all very Hollywood-esque, isn't it?
It is. Rudy has made a good point. Hold on, let me get rid of this thing here. Rudy says, I have to say that Rice isn't my first choice. He is overpriced, in my view. But then again, everybody, especially when you're English. But he is clearly Arteta's man, and they wanted him the most. Appreciate the way we got him. How much is he overpriced?
I'd be interested to know that as well. I don't think he's overpriced. I think we paid a very smart price for him, to be honest with you. And the guy's not going to lose value. He's not going to lose value. He's going to go even more. So if something does happen in the future, he's going to be a lot more than he already is. You've got to remember, I know he's got the English tax on him and everything like that, but he's in England starting international. He's a captain. He's a leader. He's also from London. He's got that family orientation, family mentality. He wants to stay in London because of his family. Arsenal are building that family. There was jokes on Twitter going around about Arteta and how he's trying to get all of his players married up and having kids. Because the moment we sign Havertz, he announces his engagement with his missus, and everyone's like, Arteta's gone. Can you just get it done, mate? Get it done. But it's great. He's got that family start, that family feeling through it and everything. You see it on the pitch. There's a reason why we go for these players at the moment. And Declan Rice is one of the best. I don't care about the price. I say we get it. We're going to make a great run in the league and a great run in the champs.
Yazid MD says, good point. No one is talking about the African Cup of Nations, which makes a difference. We would have lost him for some of January and February. Yep. Now we won't have that problem. Someone on Twitter was saying that Arteta was racist because he's got rid of all the African players, which
that's people that have never had hardship in their life, and they're trying to get offended by somebody on somebody else's behalf.
Yes, it's true. Boring. I mean, the fact we've still got Pepe at the club. And
so boring.
Last time I looked, I'm sure that Egypt was still in Africa.
It's boring. Yeah, exactly. It's boring. It's just people just try and find things to be offended about. It's 2023. Nothing shocks me.
It is. And Eddie is of Nigerian descent. We know that. And Bukayo, when he went for the off season, he went to Africa, met a load of people, and saw pictures of that. Don't know what country he went to, but people were obviously glad to see him. He was having a whale of a time. Excellent. Demsic says Rice walks into most teams and isn't overpriced. Phil Macker is back. Hello, ladies. Sorry I'm late, cheeky monkey. Stan says we don't need understudies. We need competition for places. Rudy has put a long one. I fear Partey will leave us. To replace Partey, it won't be easy. Caicedo would be brilliant, but can't see that happening. Chelsea rise the intensity to get Caicedo done is my fear. Well, I think they still need to get rid of some players before they start bringing in too many big names. Steph says the Rice goal v Ghent was incredible. Clock says understudy could be Lavia. Is he good enough? Well, covering Rice is not there.
I think where Stan says the understudy, we don't need understudy. We need backup. Maybe it's my turn of phrase, but getting somebody younger to compete with Rice for minutes, because we know that Rice is going to play every game. Someone like Lavia would be great, but as I said already before, I'm unsure about that because of the buyback clause that City have that's in place till next year for 40 million. So God forbid if Lavia has a great season, then City just go, cheers, mate. We'll take him. Wrap him up. Send him over. I'm not interested in that. We'll see what happens next year.
Data made a couple of good points as usual. She says, who cares? It's not your money. And Stan is very rich, and follows that up with, would you rather Kroenke spend his money on Arsenal or keep it for himself? Quite right. Spend it all on us. God, Sky's put a big one here. That's the advantage of watching us on Twitch, people. There's no swearing filter. You can say whatever the hell you want. And you can put long messages like this. Now, Sky, I'm going to trust this is good. I'm going to read it without checking it. Read this from a forum. Apparently, the new financial year of FFP starts today, and Arsenal would have been deemed to have signed Declan Rice for that huge amount in the last financial year, which would have worked against us. The delay was well thought out, save 250 grand a week, apparently, strategy to avoid sanctions, because this is a huge sale which would have impacted on our FFP status. Smart thinking from the club. Only the smart would have a clue what is going on. Any thoughts? I agree with you. And the longer they left it, that's an extra 2 or 3 weeks of not spending 250 grand a week on someone. And so they've saved best part of what, $1 million, $750,000?
Yeah.
Not bad, is it? That'll buy you a house.
I find it very funny, Danny. I find it very funny that everyone's jumping on Arsenal's back about FFP at the moment when Chelsea have spent 700 million in 6 months.
Well, Kieran from the financial pod has said Arsenal are fine.
Oh, I know we are. But I'm just finding it funny. The one that made me really laugh is I really like Tifo and Tifo IRL. I love their coverage and stuff. But they kept on releasing videos about sort of not anti-Arsenal, but asking questions about if Arsenal's doing what they're doing and if it's okay. And I'm like, you do realise that the New York Times owns Tifo, and New York Times is owned by some of the owners are Ted Bowley and some of the Saudi states. So of course, they're going to be writing these articles to kind of deflect away from what's going on at Chelsea. It's hilarious stuff. Hilarious stuff. Apparently, Arsenal FFP is a problem. Brilliant.
You'll see in the chat there, we have got Fergus from Guns and Yellow Ribbons podcast. There's their YouTube link. Go and follow them because, much like me, they are old buggers and they talk a lot of sense. So I regularly watch that. It is one of about 6 Arsenal podcasts I have on my own personal YouTube subscriptions, mainly because Trevor will come around and beat me up if I don't have it on there. So yeah, go and give that a follow because they are a wonderful podcast. And they have got 875 subscribers. So I want to see that at 10,000 before the end of the show. Right, you've done a load of messages that I can't read them all. Oh, Data says good point about the New York Times. Right, Deac, never do another podcast because when Data says you've done something good, you've peaked.
Oh right, so, is that it? Is this my retirement for podcasting
it is.
Now?
That's it. You're done.
All right. But it was a good run. It was a good run. We had a great run. I'm a little bit disappointed because this one's going to be even more. It's going to be even better. But there we are.
Right, positions played by Mr. Declan Rice in his entire professional career. Defensive midfield 214 with 15 goals and 12 assists. Centre back 52. I didn't realise he played so many times there. Left back 2, central midfield 2, right back 1. Now, does that give you any clue to where he might play for the Arsenal?
No clue. Left back? No idea. Genuinely.
Oh dear, that's good to see though.
It's good. Do you know what? I'm surprised that he's played at left back twice as many times as he's played at right back. I thought right back would be a lot more as a right-footed player, but who am I to say otherwise?
What other things have we got here? Squad numbers. Now, you know, people, I'm on the spectrum apparently, as Sean keeps calling me an autistic C word. And I like numbers to work. Now, he has started off with number 68 for the under 18s. And then we went to the under 21s, 16 and 12 and 6 and 5, and then got 41. And then he had number 5 for the under 21s and number 6 for the under 18s. Then he, like Deac was saying, what are you telling me about his shirt number 41?
Well, he got given it as his first team number. That was, and you know, whenever a player is in the first team, look at Saka when he first started at Arsenal. I think it was 87. No, it was 87, and then he went down to 77, and now he's at 7. So he's done all the 7s. But you get given that number, and it's generally a high number, and that's what happened here. It meant a lot to him, so he's kept it, and that's where it is, and that's why he kept the 41.
Because if I was in charge of the Arsenal, if I was taking over a football manager, first thing I would do, Ben White would get number 2. Big Willie Saliba would get number 5. Actually, no, he'd get number 6. Number 5 would be Gabriel. And then Jurrien Timber would be 22 for double right back. And Zinchenko would be 3. And backup left back will be Tierney on 33. See what I'm doing there?
See what you're doing there. There's a pattern to the madness.
And then in defensive midfield would be number 6. No, it would be number 4. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I always keep 4. I'm a Fabregas lover, right? Or 4 should be a midfield.
Yeah.
Midfield number.
And then the rest of them are okay. We've got 7 and 11 on the wings, which is important.
That's okay. That's fine. That's brilliant. That's good.
Is. Right. What bit have we got now? I'm not looking at the chat because we're going through things.
I tell you what, quickly before you do that, Danny, do the numbers, the previous 41 numbers, shirt number wearers at Arsenal. You were looking. Have you got those? Because Danny has the list of previous Arsenal players who have wore the number 41 shirt, which I didn't think about, but Danny smartly did, and I felt that it was quite funny. There was a few names in there you'll all remember.
I'm just scrolling backwards through the podcast tweets, and if anybody who listening to this, we aren't following you on Twitter, let us know, and I will follow you immediately, if not sooner. So I did a tweet the other day listing all the previous players. So it'd be good if I could go and find that and then bring it up on screen. So Deac, cover for me while I'm doing this.
No worries. No worries. I see Stefan's put something here saying, here it is. Please, I cancelled my Athletic sub. I'm not a fan of the Athletic, that's for sure. What else have we got here? Nice take on New York Times and Bowley. Yep, thank you. I find it funny every single time, comical even, when I see Tifo do some sort of piece about, oh well, Arsenal, they're doing quite cheeky things, and it's like, Data putting here where's Kai going to play in the forward Granite 8. So the thing is, we've been saying it for a while now. Granite kind of filled that position. He was told by Arteta, you've got to step into this formation that I want, this position that I want. Obviously Arteta's got a bigger picture of what he wants that position to play, and only Xhaka could do certain things. So maybe Havertz is the player that's going to be doing the Havertz 8, not the Granite 8. There's going to be like an upgrade. There's going to be 2.0 of the left 8. So we'll see what happens.
Found it.
Oh, God, you got it. Then Boy Tendio just said here, Rice is replacing Partey and Havertz is replacing Xhaka, and I think that's probably correct.
It is indeed. I was going to go and do another tweet from my account. This one here, and boom. What I'd actually done is number 2. I hadn't actually done 41. So just a quick one on Saliba taking the number 2. He's only the 5th Arsenal player since 93-94 when shirt number started to take the number 2. Lee Dixon had it, and then it was vacant for 2 seasons. Then Abu Diaby had it. And then, God, he had it from 05 to 12.
That's one of the players that I will say for years, if he reached the without the injuries, he'd be one of the best players on the planet by a country mile. Incredible player.
All the skill in the world. And then it was vacant 13-14. Then Mathieu Debuchy from New York.
Yeah.
He had it for 2 seasons, and then it was vacant for 17-18. And then Bellerin didn't get it until 2018, and then he had it for 3 seasons, vacant last season, which is one of the little thing. That's where you should go and follow us on Twitter, because the stuff that Karl does is brilliant. And I started doing interesting things as well, because we've put Instagram in the bin. Right, so I was going to read you out the squad numbers. The first person ever to get number 41 was Stephen Santry in 2001-2. Next season, Craig Holloway. Next season, no one. Next season, Stephen O'Donnell. Next season, Arturo Lupoli. Next season, Joe O'Crill. So that was up to 6-7. Next season, Gavin Hoyt, brother of Justin. Season after that, no one. Then in 9-10, it was Frimpong. 10-11, it was Jet. 11-12, it's Luke Freeman. Now, this is where I'm going to butcher people's names. 12-13, Samir Bihomotin. Then 13-14, Daniel Boateng. 14-15, Samuel Galindino. I think he was Mexican. And then we had 4 seasons without it. And then 1920, Robbie Burton, Ben Cottrell, Nathan Butler, Ajay, and then Mauro Bandera for the last 2 seasons. So he's been told, oi, get yourself a new shirt, son.
I know, right?
You're in having it.
Right, you're a youth academy player. Yeah. This is your first team number. It's being stripped away from you to be given to the most expensive Arsenal signing. I'd love that conversation. Hilarious.
Get your shirt, son. Put it in the bin.
Yeah.
So that's another good one. All right, so then we were going to look at some more stats. We've done squad numbers. International. I remember him playing for Ireland, being a youth international, because much like my good self, he is of Irish parentage. He actually played 3 games for the Republic of Ireland. I think they were possibly all friendlies, because when you do friendlies, they don't count, and so you can still go. I was going
to ask, how does that work? So yeah, it must have been friendlies. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look and see what it says about his on his Wikipedia, why he was allowed to change it. It says Republic of Ireland in August 2018, Rice was omitted from the squad to play Wales by Martin O'Neill, who said that Rice was considering switching play for England after being approached by them. November 2018, after he'd been omitted from 3 squads selected by O'Neill, Rice was said no closer in deciding whether to play for England or Ireland. And then late 2018, Rice met with New Ireland manager Mick McCarthy and his assistant Robbie Keane. McCarthy said that Rice has a potential future captain of Ireland and that would build the team around him should Rice decide to play for his country. And then February 2019, Rice pledged his future to England, changed his allegiance, and was confirmed by FIFA on March 2019. He was called up the England squad for the Euro qualifiers. So it doesn't say why. I mean, I think if they're only friendlies, you're allowed to do that because his grandparents are from Cork. And
Danny,
yeah, it doesn't say the game. Oh, here we go. Name the squad play. No, it doesn't say the games that he played, which is a bit of a shame. But
he's only been playing for England like less than 4 years.
2019,
he's been playing for England forever.
5 seasons. 2019, he played 7, then 6, then 14, then 12, and this year 4. So
blows my mind. It really does. And that was March of 2019, the year before the world imploded.
Yes.
So it feels like it was last week. Anyway, crazy stuff.
Let's go and have a look through some. What number did Lauren have?
12.
Got rid of that now. Do you remember what
12.
number Lauren?
Yeah, Lauren 12.
Ah, there we go. Nick says right below 12.
Oh, there you go.
Frimpong, Dench, a linguist. Galadino was Bolivian. Cheers, Hambo. I knew he was somewhere south of America. I'm just making it up. Bandera, not even deputed. Jog on. Gallus number 10 maybe questioned Wenger as a manager for the first time. It was
agreed.
A little bit dodgy. Did England have to buy Rice? Says Boy 10.
Just bags of rice.
Not nominal fee. Nikki says because of the shirt number or in general signing him.
That was the Gallus 10, I think.
Same situation as Balogun, under 20s for England, and now the United States men's national team.
Danny, can I say something about Balogun quickly? Very quickly.
Slowly if you want.
No, it's fine. I like the look of him. He looks like a good player.
He gives me the ick.
But he kind of reminds me, and I'm not saying this as an insult, but he looks like a counter-attacking striker, not a possession-based striker. Yes. And we've had counter-attacking players come into this side and not survive our possession-based football that we do, Pepe being one of the big ones. And he came from the French league. I really like the look of him, but I think if we can get the money, I think we do it. I also don't think he's got his heart set on playing for Arsenal in any capacity. If you go on his Twitter, you wouldn't have a clue he played for Arsenal.
He didn't have Arsenal in his bio, did he?
He literally, all he has in his bio is the United States men's national team at. And it's the only thing he's following is the United States men's national team. I think you wouldn't have a clue he's got nothing to do with Arsenal. All it says to me is that his heart's not in it, so I'm not interested in having it. Not interested.
I think he has changed the bio since people brought it up.
Oh, really? No way. No way. Okay, hold on. I'm going to check that out. No, he hasn't changed it. He hasn't changed it. No,
I thought somebody said that they'd had a little moan about it. Who else was it that took their the team out of their bio a while ago while they were still at the club?
No, I don't know. Maybe. Even his profile picture is just the United States of America football badge, and he's got he's got a blank header, a completely blank header. He's like, should I have something Arsenal related there or nothing? Nothing.
Do you get Anelka vibes from him?
Yeah, I really just don't. His ego's bigger than his talent, and I'm not saying, and he's got great talent, but I think he's got a lot of talent, and I've seen him live. I saw him play for the under-21s a number of years ago against a friendly against Barnet. He looked brilliant even then. Even back then, this was like 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe a little bit less, maybe 2019, so 3-4 years ago. But he looked brilliant then. He was the outstanding player. But I don't like his attitude. I don't think he's interested.
Demsek says, so Declan played under-21 football for Ireland. No, he got 3 caps for Ireland and 40-odd caps for the UK. I remember back in the day, I mean, John Fashanu got 1 cap for England, and then I think Nigeria wanted him. And he said, I don't think it would be fair that I play for both, which would have been a shame because John Fashanu was very nice.
Oh,
Awuga. Data says Balogun is very Okonkwo kind of player. Wow, says 50 million for him would be great business.
Yep.
Hello, wow. If you're new, feel free to subscribe and send me all of your money. I'll give you my bank details. Bye, Felicia. I don't know what that means. Stefan says if Balogun doesn't see what everyone else is seeing in Arsenal, he is stupid. Good point. Clock Orange, Balogun is not counter-attacking forward. He is already good old up player. Good hold.
I didn't see any of that. I mean, who knows? But he's only got a few weeks. Even Arteta's basically saying it in interviews, including today, literally saying he's got a few weeks, especially on this American tour, to show what he can do. Because Arsenal are on the verge of selling him. Arteta doesn't see him in his plans, so that says all I need to know.
Boy 10 says Balogun needs to have someone older in his circle, talk him out of wanting a move. He's too good to be moving on when we're stuck with Nketiah.
I agree with that comment though.
Ego bigger than talent reminds me of Bentley.
He didn't shut up about that goal he scored for Spurs against us, did he? For fucking ever. Jesus Christ.
Boy 10 says still waiting for the Eddie hat trick. Right, let's go and have a look at some more things I've got saved. All stats. Unbelievable. I didn't realise that in a total of 278 games, the Premier League under 21, the EFL Trophy, the Premier League under 18, the Premier League 2, the Premier League 2 playoffs, and all the usual cup competitions, 278 games, 15 goals, 14 assists, no red cards, playing in that position, not even a double yellow. What do you know why?
Do you know why, Danny? It's because I said earlier, the guy wins the ball standing up. He intercepts and uses his body beautifully to get in between the player, the attacking player, and the ball. He rarely goes down to ground, therefore reducing the amount of mistakes. And it is proven, said with stats that you've just shown up. I'm so excited about this player. He's already my profile picture on my phone, has been for a while, buzzing off my titties.
So Mrs. Deac has been ousted.
Demoted. Yeah, the boy is here.
Oh. Right. What else have we got? We've got all the stats, and then we've got some Football Manager stats. So it was this one first, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this is guys, I love to bring up Football Manager things. This is Declan Rice's stats when he was 18 years old. This is a year after his sort of debut for playing for West Ham, and as you can see, his stats look great. But they're nothing to scream and shout about. But he's 18. He already looks pretty decent with his marking and everything like that. And his tackling ability. Back then, he was still considered to be a ball-playing defender. But interesting to see the progression to the next one, which is, I think, FM20. There we go. So he's now 20 years old. So it's a couple of years later. And, he's got his tackling up, but he's now moved in with his composure. He's now moved into that defensive midfield area where apparently Football Manager rate him pretty decently as a deep line playmaker. And we've seen some of the videos that are going around on socials right now. His techers is I'm like, what the hell?
Yes, that long passing
that video and the passing and the ability to volley it and stuff and control it with his chest. I'm like,
pinpoint.
What is this? This is crazy. I just assumed him to be a really old-fashioned English defensive midfielder, but he's showing so much more. Unbelievable, so much more. And then we've got the newest one, which is his current stats for Football Manager, which is here he is at 23 years old. And as you can see, a plethora of greens all around the mental area, which is what we want. His physicals are off the chart. The guy can run forever. And he's obviously a leader on and off the pitch. And it shows, it really does show when it comes to his media stuff. He just knows what to say and how to say it. I'm buzzing. Really happy about this.
Does a really good progression of skills and talent and all that other important stuff.
Yep.
What else did I want to bring up? Hold on. Someone asked a question. Where was it? It was something about Clock Orange said, what are the times for the games in the US? Can you tell me in the UK time? Now, I'm going to do it in the right order because Wikipedia have got it in competition form, not in date. So,
got them in my diary.
The 19th of July, the time in the USA is going to be EDT. What does that stand for? Eastern Time Zone.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's 8:30 USA, 1:30 AM in the morning here.
So that's Thursday. So that's Wednesday night, Thursday early morning, guys. All right.
Early morning. And then the next one after that, that's the 19th of July. Next one after that is the 22nd of July. It is going to be 5 p.m. USA time, and it is going to be 10 p.m. UK time.
And that's against Manchester United.
Yeah. And the next one, Barcelona, it is going to be 7:30 USA time and 3:30 UK time.
Yeah, it's a really, really early one, that one. And that's Barcelona, I believe. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. And that's been, I see why there's such a huge difference. The first one's been in New Jersey, and the second one is going to be in the Stan Kroenke Stadium. And the first one, the MLS All-Stars, are going to be held in the Washington Audi Field Stadium.
Sounds great.
That's painful. My foot's been in the same position for far too long, but it might come off. Right, so where are we up to? Reading some more points. Balogun, Sky says, if Balogun can't accept the role in the squad and will be annoyed, then we sell him while we can and get the money, but I'm sure he will be a great player.
We'll see what happens.
Good. Rudy says, Ballo will get chances with the US now. If he plays well, Arteta won't let him go easily. Well, he's really missed a couple of the games because he wasn't registered for the Gold Cup, which is a shame because the USA won back-to-back 6-0. And a Colombian got hat-tricks, the first person ever to get back-to-back hat-tricks for the US of A. Stan says, Balogun seems to prefer a path of less resistance, choose to play for the USA and doesn't want to fight for a place at the Arsenal.
Agreed.
And BX says Santi Gimenez should be a target. I think that might be the bloke who scored the back-to-back hat-tricks. A big Mexican target. No, it wasn't him who can hold up and score. We've not really had much luck with, I know Mexico isn't South American, but in South American players and Mexican players. Because
I've always said, I've always had a thing of South American players. I always find that they're very good at upsetting the apple cart, so to speak. Like most recent one, Lucas Torreira and stuff like that, they're very good at upsetting the apple cart. Alexis Sanchez, look at Neymar. The guys are literally a walking, talking machine of destroying everything. I always laugh about it every time on Foot Manager. I'm like, oh god, what's the player going to moan about now? So I find that quite interesting. We'll see what happens.
Says Forza football app has all the games in local time. Pretty good app without any ad interruptions. Boy 10 says Football Manager is a reliable scouting tool, by the way. All attribute changes to players are now purely reactionary, and Sports Interactive never try to highball their estimates on anyone now. Gary is here. Gary, put a link to your YouTube channel in the chat and people go and watch it. I never remember the name of your channel, Gary, because I just spend my time looking at the Volkswagen Camperman that you keep using. BX says his father is Christian Jimenez, the Argentinian. Boy says, I never sign any South Americans on Football Manager. Womble, Brazil is in South America. Thanks for that.
Yep, that's completely factually correct. Yes.
Yes, and they're saying hello to Gary. Lovely.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. So, did we have any other bits that we were going to highlight and show? We've done all of them, Slot. There will be a podcast tomorrow night. So I think it's going to be Ellis and Karl. I'm not sure who else because Josh is only free the next day. So it might just be those two. I might be on with them. I don't know. Hopefully Chris might be free and then those three can do a show together. Yes. What do you make of, they'll cover this tomorrow, the squad going to play in North America? What do you think of the fact that there is no party?
Do you know what? I didn't even think about that. I was hearing all the stuff about Reece Nelson not there.
Isn't he?
Yanweri, whatever. I can't remember.
He had a couple of good turns, didn't he, against Nuremberg?
Sure, yeah, he did. He looked really good. He's got such a great low center of gravity. I'm a big fan of his already.
And they signed him, haven't they? They signed a proper pro contract.
Is it pro contract now? I thought I didn't. Oh, okay, 17. Fantastic.
Whatever he is.
It's 17 when you get a pro contract. I think he signed a contract that basically he's like on a big schoolboy contract, which will basically. And then he'll go straight into his contract when he's 17. He doesn't have to sign anything. It's already done and dusted. But I find that quite interesting, the few names that are not there. But I didn't even think about the Partey one. Koza Dubry has made the team, so it's interesting. So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, Partey, who knows? Maybe there's stuff going on behind the scenes, because we've said for ages, haven't we, that there's going to be a number of signings to begin with. Then it's going to be like a good month of selling players, and then we might go in for someone at the exactly like the Conga, and then we sell, and we buy maybe at the end of the window. That's probably what's going to happen. So it's going to be a lot of sell now for the next few weeks.
Sky says, have we talked about Timber? And we talked about him in the last show, but what's your thoughts on Timber?
Big fan. I love the way he's got a good drive. He's got a good ability on the ball. It's going to be quite interesting because he's got the ability to sort of understudy Saliba as well as understudy Ben White, which is two positions that is not fully formed. And Tomiyasu's injuries can become a problem, even though I really like him. Obviously, Rob Holding is the understudy to Saliba, and we can say for sure that Jurrien Timber is definitely an upgrade on that. No insult to Holdini, but it's a great signing. Massively impressed. He looks like a star player already, and he comes across really well in all the interviews. Some of them, they don't come across well. They don't show their personality enough, so you kind of feel a bit mixed and a bit indifferent with them. But Havertz, Jurrien Timber, and Declan Rice have all come across really well. So it fits with that Arsenal ethos.
Jolly good. Phil says that Nelson has a toe injury. I don't know how Phil would know that. He's probably making it up. Nelson got to go to court over his dog. I don't know what that's about. Did his dog bite someone?
Oh, I think that's right, actually. Yeah. Okay, well, that will make sense that they've not gone then, I guess.
Also, Nuno Tavares. If you look at the squad on Wikipedia, Nuno Tavares doesn't have a squad number, and Nicolas Pepe doesn't have a squad number. Talks of having to cancel his contract, which is unreal. When we signed him in 2019, so 1920, we played. I think we were playing 25 million up front and then 23 million for the next 3 seasons. 19 and then 20 and then 21, 22, 23. So he's been at the club for 5 seasons. Is that right?
Can we sue Raul? Can we sue him for this shit? This is crazy.
He's been at the club for 4 seasons. I mean, when you look at his stats, 27 goals in 112 games, it's not the end of the world, is it?
He's not. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but we've gone past that now. We went past that years ago. Never mind now. We're even a level above that. So it is what it is.
It's bad though that you're 72 million having to cancel his contract. I thought those days had gone, but I suppose you've got to move on. You better write down what is it, amortization, get rid of some of the value on that. Good old Phil says he read it on the BBC. Out for 2 weeks. Ha ha. Loki, nice of you to turn up. Arsenal were wearing sleeveless training tops. Let Chris know. I need to let Chris know. Chris does know. I might. Don't you people follow Chris on the Instagrammings? Because my God, I only follow quite a few people, but Chris puts more pictures of himself up there than everyone else combined. The man is obsessed. I'm trying to find the picture, and as soon as I say that, I can't find Chris's feed. Where is it? So I'll have to find the rest of it in a minute. Now, what else are we going to look at? No, that's all done. We've done that. We've done this. First 11. This is my first 11, which I think he's going to go for. What do you think to that?
Yeah, that's exactly the team that I put out. I love the Havertz and Odegaard Rice midfield combination. I sent some stats to you even before Havertz was even confirmed. I sent like a stat wheel. Which kind of showed Odegaard, Havertz, and Rice's stats based on attacking threat, defensive threat, and overall ball possession. It kind of covers every little area just a little bit, which really shows that if they can really start to gel over the next year or so, I think we've got an incredibly dynamic midfield that's going to dominate the Premier League for years to come. Very, very happy about that.
And the alternative to that is this one. where if Partey stays, Partey playing in the DM, Rice in the midfield with his unbelievable passing ability, and Havertz playing up front when Jesus can't. Because I think we will end up seeing Havertz playing up front at some point, because the 6'4", good in the air, good at defending as well with that form. So
he's great off the ball as well as on the ball. His runs and his defensive coverage as well is really good. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Havertz play a handful of games this season playing up top.
But I think Partey is going to go.
I think it's going to be a thing. I think it's going to be.
And so if Partey goes, Rice will play in the Partey role. If Havertz does play up front for a game, then Trossard will slip in on the right, and Odegaard will move to the left because he's got all the feet and do what he wants. And this is our backup squad. That's not a bad backup 11, is it?
I like it how you put Balogun ahead of Eddie. Poor Eddie. poor Eddie. I want to say quickly on Kiwior, we were mentioning it before the podcast, but Kiwior had a great performance at left back against Nuremberg. He looked very comfortable on the ball, and he's got great vision, not as good as Zinchenko, but he looked really comfortable in that particular position. So I'd be interested to see if Kiwior will play at left back a few times this season. Which kind of leaves the door open for Kieran Tierney to make his fair dues with his little career at Arsenal, because we've got Zinchenko, Tomiyasu can play there, and Kiwior can apparently play there pretty decently now as well. So and I want to see more from Emile Smith-Rowe this season, as we all do. And Vieira, he needs a loan. Good God, the boy needs a loan. He was horrific against Nuremberg. And there was reports apparently of Arteta ripping him a new one on the Arsenal training ground last week. So I'm not. He needs a loan, the poor boy. He really needs a loan.
He certainly does. Where do you think that team would finish in the Premier League if it played every 38 games?
I'll tell you what, 10? Because you've got Trossard in there. Tomiyasu is extremely versatile. If he stays fit, he's a great player. But the Trossard is the difference maker here. So I'd say eighth in and around that area. So yeah, definitely top 10. Trossard there is for me is the difference maker. That guy, he just reminds me of Santi Cazorla. I love him, Trossard. I think he's brilliant, great player.
It is odd that our whole back five are the first choice for their countries. Timber and Kiwior played all of the World Cup games for Poland and for Holland. Tierney. He's a centre-back for Scotland. Tomiyasu, one of the best Japanese players. Jorginho, Italy.
Turner for United States. He's number one for United States.
And Vieira, I'm not sure Vieira's played much for Portugal. And Nelson, Nelson's still growing. And Balogun, the USA number one striker. Well,
number one striker. Trossard as well for Belgium and stuff.
I'm going to share a screen with you, people, because you're asking about Chris's. If you want to go to the Instagram, it is KC_RUNZ. Now, you know how much I hate it when people use a Z rather than an S.
There he is. There's 6 pictures on the screen, Danny. They're all him.
Yeah, that's all he does. There's the training top. He's got KC stamped into the training top.
Oh, wait, look, Danny, there's a picture without him in it. Danny, look.
Oh, that's when he was off noncing up dolphins.
And then back to him.
His new tattoo saying Vi. It doesn't say 8,
isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't say 8.
Oh,
there he is. Look at him. He's quite photogenic, isn't he? Giving it the rock and roll.
There's another one. There's another one just of a sunset. Incredible stuff. That's a great picture.
He went swimming with dolphins recently.
Amazing.
Look at that long tongue.
Yeah. Oh God, Jesus. Yeah.
He's topless. So we allowed topless boys on this. So there you go. You can see him in all full naked. Right, that's enough of that.
All right, no, this is not PG. I think.
Yeah. So KC_runs. Go and have a look at that, and it'll fulfill all your Chris fantasies if you have any. What are people saying in the 27 messages I've missed? Boy10 says Fabio is frustrating. He has the tech, but he's criminally lightweight in the Prem. Phil says Trossi deserves more than a bit part player. Deeks. Well,
I agree.
What we got, but he's still bloody good.
I love Trossard. He's back up. I love him, but he's back up to the first team.
BX makes a point. I'd rather start Trossard in the left 8, which is
haven't given Havertz. I know we love Trossard, but Havertz is going to be something else. I believe.
Boy says, Chris with sleeves, that's an imposter. Phil says, I genuinely think Chris would marry himself.
I agree.
BX hashtag pirate on tour. And then formerly known as the hashtag carpenter out. Where have you been? That was late. Right, I think that's it. What else? Anything else you'd like to close with? We've almost done the hour.
Yeah, we said an hour, so here we are at the hour mark. It's the podcast of a generational signing. I said it at the very beginning, but this signing is something that we've been waiting for decades. It's a guy that we can now maybe look at. Here he is. You know how we've been saying for years that we needed to replace Gilberto Silva?
Yeah.
I think we might be there. It's taken years, decades even. I think we're there. So I am very, very optimistic with this signing. This guy exudes class, ability, skill, just everything. I'm buzzing. Let's go. Inject it right in there.
And like all the other players, just quickly go through the players. We've got our number one goalkeeper. He's 25. He can play in that position for a decade. Our number one centre-back pairing, Saliba, is 22. He can do a decade. Gabriel, 25. Possibly do a decade. Ben White, 25, right back, possibly do a decade. And then left back, Zinchenko, 26. He lasts a long time. And then we've got Rice in the DM, 24, easily do a decade.
Yeah.
And then we have got Odegaard, still only 24. Unreal.
Oh, I love Odegaard.
Havertz is only 24. Saka, 21. He could do at least a decade and a bit. Jesus, 26. Smith Rowe, 22. Martinelli, 22. Well, he won't do a decade because he'll be off to Real Madrid for 150 million in a couple of seasons. Trossard is an old man at 28. Jeez.
Yes.
Nelson, 23. Who else did I miss out? Vieira. No, I'm not going to include him. Our pensioner, Jorginho, is 31, the oldest player in the squad.
I think our average age is 23.4 at the moment. 23.4. That's not too bad. There's a few comments in the chat saying, Clock Orange saying respectfully disagreeing on the Havertz being good in the role. Well, let's see. Let's see. No one has a glass ball. I'm just making a smart assumption. And I think Boy Tendio agrees with me. I think he's hyped and think he's going to be dynamite. And yes, Declan Rice is the guy from the Muller adverts. How they've got to sing a song, the initiation song. He's going to be singing Rice Rice Baby, isn't he?
I'd refuse to do that.
You think?
I refuse to do any team bonding, team stuff. I'd say, leave me alone. When I score a goal, don't touch me. Don't stay away from me. Don't touch me. Don't hug me.
You'll fit perfectly in at Arsenal then, Danny, with that mentality. Perfectly.
I don't like people being near me.
Fair enough. I agree with you.
Even when Sean gives me a hug, I go, you can have 5 seconds at a push.
Nice.
I don't like people
time everything
on me.
Time it all.
Yes, so people, there you go. That is Deac and mine's thoughts on Mr. Declan Rice, future Arsenal captain, if Odegaard does spread his wings and go. Tomorrow night, I think there will be a pod as usual. They talk about it in the group, and then they haven't continued talking about it. So Karl and Ellis are free tomorrow. Josh is free Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I don't know. And Kev Campbell also told me that he was free tomorrow night. And if these tits don't do a podcast tomorrow night, I will strangle the pair of them, because I said to Kev, they've already organised one. So they better do it or else. So thank you very much, Deac. You have been effervescent.
Pleasure, as always. I'm really hyped about the signing. Let's go. This season's going to be great.
Where can people find you on Twitter if they're feeling daring and want to be outraged? If you want
to be completely angrified, then you can come and follow me at Deac and Justified. But as I said right there as well, I wouldn't recommend it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
And remember, our podcast on YouTube is called At the AFC Podcast, because the Bergkamp Wonderland was too many letters. I've asked Neil on, but he completely ignored me. And then I think that's about it. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will be back for another show sometime this week if them lot can pull their fingers out. If they can't pull their fingers out, then they're going to get slapped legs. So we will leave you with a little picture. We can just have a look at. I think that's one of my favourite pictures. So we'll leave you that picture. and then we will roll the credits. Goodbye.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid. Get down, dog. Splendid business.
He nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I was just eating a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at Ibs, so when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately, and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your uncle.
Never in doubt.